Um,
Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is Popping Culture. My guest today is a comedian and movie enthusiast, Ben Stacy. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
hey, thanks for having me, man.
All right. The topic Ben chose was the anti-heroes and how they influence pop culture. But before we get into that, a lot of people worry about like bombing, but I'm more focused on succeeding. So when was the first time you killed and how did it feel?
God, I can't even remember. I don't really remember the first time I killed. I remember the first time I truly bombed, and that was the first time I did stand up comedy. But it was because I was trying to be a edgier comic. I was using words I shouldn't be. But because I was just trying to be, hey, look at me, I've got a real opinion. You don't want to know my truth, man. And then I realized, oh, you got to kind of be funny in order to do stuff like that. So, I did recently. I've gotten a lot of accolades just for an open mic recently, but I don't really know if that counts.
No, that's fine. Uh, so you say you've killed like an open mics. I mean, I think that still counts. Have anything you've done before had the same feeling?
Mm, how do you mean?
Like, does anything compare to killing on stage? Like, I like asking comedians this question just in general. Like, the same feeling you got from having a great set, does that compare to anything else you've done?
Um, Seeing the lights of a UFO while on LSD.
That's the first time I've had that answer.
Man, I saw the devil and a UFO on the same night while I was tripping my balls off.
Okay,
I am not shy about the stuff I do.
I'm sorry for laughing. You saw the
maybe
devil.
maybe we should have added Psychonaut to that to that list of things I'm part of.
Listen, guys, Ben's a hilarious comedian. If you live in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, make sure you check him out. Very funny. Um, I just gotta ask, what does the devil look like?
The devil has five werewolves heads and is bred along in the side in like the tree line behind my house.
Nice, nice,
I
nice.
almost cried.
Is it sad? And like this is so like basic to say this, but my when I think of the devil, and I don't know besides the negative stuff, I don't know that much positive stuff about the guy. But I just imagine that the devil would look like Kevin Spacey.
I can see that.
Like I don't know why. Just like
I
it just
actually have a bit of a defense for the devil. How can you call him like the Lord of Evil or the Prince of Darkness when he's the one who punishes evil people?
damn, that's good. That's good, Ben. All right. I never put no yeah, yeah, for real. Like he's the talk about we're gonna talk about anti-heroes, but that is
And that's part of my fascination with him. I've always found like the devil in the Bible to be more of an anti-hero because he's always like, look, you can do this, but I'm not gonna make you.
yeah, that's a strong point that I just never put together. But yeah, that's wow, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's there to tempt. He's not really there to force anything on you.
He's like the Punisher.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
the the,
Nice.
the Punisher, the quintessential Marvel anti-hero, and
Yeah.
Blue Lives Matter staple character, even though he's killed cops in his comic books
Like hundreds of cops, like hundreds on hundreds.
because they didn't follow the law or they were corrupt and all that stuff.
Yes, yes.
I just remember one scene from Marvel Civil War where like Cap recruits some supervillains to help him out because they feel like this registration is going to affect them too, and the Punisher just guns them down immediately, and he's just like, "What?"
I haven't read it in so long, but I think I remember that. But that is hilarious. And they knew what villains to kill too. Like aren't top level villains at all. Like
Yeah,
but yeah, to get into the topic, you chose anti-heroes. Is there any special reason why you chose that topic?
I think because those characters have always fascinated me, and I think we as a country have have always been fascinated with that archetype, like a protagonist who is more in the moral gray, darker shades of morality. The best example I can think of would have to be Breaking Bad, Walter White. I mean, he starts off as like a mild mannered, chemistry teacher, and by the end of it, he's full drug lord. Like he has people killed. He's like that part where spoiler, where like one of his associates killed a kid. He's like whistling while he's disposing of the body. He just becomes a complete monster. But people were still cheering him on, and like his wife became like a hostage, and everyone was just saying that bitch is getting in his way. No, she's a hostage. He's the bad guy, but we still cheered him on, you know?
When it comes to anti-heroes, do you feel like the sadder the backstory, the more we are to support them?
Yes, I do actually. Again, with a character like Walter White, and even the character of the movie I chose, Taxi Driver. Travis Bickle is a fucked up mess. I think we can both agree on that. You
Yeah,
saw
yeah. There's no disagreement over here. I saw the same movie you saw. Huh?
Yeah, I mean he's a mentally ill loner. It's never stated that he's mentally ill, but but like just listening to him writing in his journal, you can you get that sense of his mind deteriorating throughout the whole film. Because like one of the lines I liked that always stuck out to me was
Well,
like,
do you want to wait till we get to the movie review, or do you? It's up to
okay,
you.
yeah, let's okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's also characters like you got a character like Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter.
Yes.
He's a straight up serial killer, but because he kills the bad people, we give him a pass. And there's various others.
One
And then
thing I
there's
would. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. The only thing I was going to say was, I think the writers for Dexter, they were brilliant in the fact they were like, we can only go so far for this. So when they threw out other serial killers, it was like, okay, now it's level playing field, and I just think that was a credit to the show.
yeah. Well, and it's also people who just like every episode he kills another kill. It's always killers on that show. But I think one of the best examples is Tony Soprano from the show The Sopranos. Because it's interesting to see, like, on paper he would come off like a normal guy. He's got a wife, kids, house in the burbs. He goes to see a therapist, and he's just trying to provide for his family. But here's the thing: his job is he's a mafia boss. So like murder, beating the shit out of people for money, extortion, all this stuff. That's Monday. That's Monday shit for him. Like it's treated like he's just a regular blue collar guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's treated like he works a 9 to 5. Like that's how they treat it.
Yeah, and he's got women on the side. He's got gambling issues. He's got identity issues, prophetic dreams and whatnot. And that was what that's the show that ushered in the dawn of modern television, like the golden age of TV, too. So we got a character like that who's so relatable, but also so horrendous as well
Yes,
because
like
of the
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
because of the line work he's in.
Yeah, it's one of those things where this can only work fictionally when it comes to anti-heroes. I feel like in real world situations, unless we okay, I put it like this: like in the real world, like let's say you see a news article, recently, maybe 2 years ago, this guy ended up doing 27 years because he killed the guy that molested his daughter.
Hmm.
Uh, we can believe, I could support anti-heroes like that, but that's really like on base by base situations. I think in real life we're more like why didn't he make a call to the police? Why he didn't do this? Is I think it just comes to like storytelling. We can make it work, but very much in real life situations, we really don't consider anti-heroes being a real thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. In our world, like I believe I'm someone who's in the line of thinking that good and evil is very subjective. Like what might be wrong to you might be okay with me, and vice versa. Um, like there's people in our society who have, let's just take a basic crime like drug dealing. You know, some people, a lot of people look at that like that person is ruining this community and whatnot. But other people are like, this guy helped me. This guy helped me to feel better and whatnot. Or even someone like a prostitute. It's just like which I've never understood why anyone is against that line of work. It's the oldest profession in the book. I mean, come on. Let's get rid of those goofy laws about it already. So incels will stop shooting up schools. Maybe edit that one. Or don't. I don't. But what like a lot like people who tend to put themselves on a moral high ground will look at prostitution like, oh, this person is selling their body. How dare they do whatever they want with it? It's really hard to explain because like I'm a studier of philosophers like Nietzsche, like Friedrich Nietzsche, who was into the idea that we have to break down these morals that society puts upon us, and we need to learn to come up with our own. And this idea that he called the Ubermensch or the Superman.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I had to look him up. That makes a lot of sense. Like I agree with that.
Yeah. Like for like someone like me, I don't hold on to a lot of beliefs, and the beliefs I have, it's just because it's been time and tested true. My biggest one is actions genuinely speak louder than words. I don't care what your motivations behind something are. If you kill somebody, it's still killing somebody, and you need to be held accountable for that.
When it comes to that belief system, um, I'm pro 2A. Do you know what that means? Oh,
No, go.
I say I'm pro 2A. Do you know what that means? I'm pro Second Amendment.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm very pro Second Amendment. So for me, it's like, of course, I don't believe in anyone just freely killing people. I totally agree. That's wrong. But wow, I don't know. Wow, I want to word this as safe, and I feel like you know where I'm going with this, but it's just like, do you feel like I feel like it's wrong to kill people, but I don't want to die either.
Right.
I think that's the best way I can word it without sounding horrible. I guess.
That is understandable. I mean, self defense is always one I go is a go to of mine. But like, just if like, say someone wrecked into your car,
Oh,
drove off, and you saw them, and you just went up and like stabbed them. Yeah, you need to. Yeah, that person was wrong, but you're more in the wrong here.
yeah. Yeah, they caught you on the worst day ever. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, they
because
caught you on.
there have been I've seen stories about people who will get into arguments and then will just kill them because that's not what I believe. Well, what do you care? That's
Yeah,
they're not hurting you.
yeah. Like I said, some people they catch people on bad days. Like it's horrible. It's not right at all. But I've definitely seen those people that like get in people's faces and just say the worst things, and then like it's sad to see it, but
Yeah.
it's just weird when you see somebody that's used to running off at the mouth and like they
Yeah.
finally catch that person. Like you ever heard that term? Like one day you're gonna meet your match, and they finally do meet them. It's
Hmm.
just it's a sad situation. Very sad.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, to get back to the comic books a little bit about anti-heroes, I think the biggest example of people would say Deadpool is the biggest example of an anti-hero, but for me, I think it would be Venom,
Okay.
just
And
because Venom is such an anti-hero to the point where he started the comics eating people.
yeah.
Like I don't know how the writers fixed it, but now he's like so much of a hero. And just to get somebody that was eating people and to change his story up so much that now he's a good guy, that took years to to get correct. So that's why I would give him like the number one anti-hero. I want to know in comic books, who would you consider like your number one or top five, whatever makes it easier, anti-heroes?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna say the Punisher because he's had such a cultural impact on our society. I mean, I see at my job, I work with a lot of not I hate wording it like this, but a lot of right wing types who have like the Punisher logo on the back of their truck with like an American flag, like attached to an American flag. That's how much like he's the like, right wing Superman, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Punisher is he's one of my favorite characters, but it's because of how psychologically damaged he actually is. The guy is a straight up sociopath, and he that with post traumatic stress disorder, and after seeing his family gunned down, he's just decided we got to all criminals need to die, not be put in a court of law. Just you steal, I'm killing you. You rape, I kill you. You murder, oh, I'm fucking murdering you right back, buddy. And it's that's a it's a fucked up kangaroo court situation where he is judge, jury, and executioner to all these people, and it's just like, and that's why a lot of superheroes don't work with them. It's just because, dude, like you go way too far, and a lot of people in society don't seem to have a problem with that, and that's why they look to him. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, he kills all the criminals, he kills all the real bad guys, and he's like, he's a bad guy himself just for that.
Yeah, yeah, I 100% agree. The few comics I've read, I mean, of course, I remember I've seen TV shows, animated and Netflix shows, but after reading the comics, because they can dig so much deeper, yeah, he has done some stuff that'll make you go like, maybe they should team up against him. Like, you know,
Yeah.
um, I feel like you didn't. Well, this is the last comic book character, but Jason Todd, how'd you like him as a anti-hero?
Again, I think he's like DC's version of the Punisher himself.
Okay.
However, I kind of get his motivations a little more because he started off as a sidekick to Batman, who I love. Batman's my favorite superhero, but at the same time, fuck that guy at times because he could do so much more as Bruce Wayne, the billionaire, than he could as Batman. He's going around instead of like, because the true root of crime is poverty, and he could set up so many charitable things, which I mean he does some charity work, but he's not invested in that as much as he is as being Batman, going around at night and beating up the mentally ill.
Oh man, I agree 100%. I love the fact that um not Steve Jobs, the guy that owns Amazon,
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos literally said, like, on the crust to become a billionaire. He wasn't a billionaire yet, so I don't know. He's the richest man in the world now, but on the crust of becoming a billionaire, he has a quote where he said, I feel like the government would feel like I was a dictator if I started like trying to use my money for change. And it's just like, no, that's a real hard cop out. Like
Yeah.
the government's the reason why I can't do anything.
Speaking on the comic books, Bezos to me is the real life Lex Luthor.
How?
He just looks like him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's
No,
got
I
all these
thought you
like
knew.
he's got all these side projects going on. It's like,
Okay, okay, cool. I thought you knew something I didn't know. Like, whoa, wait a minute, because I thought it would be Bill Gates, but okay.
I guarantee he probably would become that if a real life Superman was around. course, I think a real life Superman would be like Homelander from
Yeah.
Boys. But
Yeah.
I digress. Back to Jason Todd. I gotta understand his motivation a little more, because the Joker is one of those few exceptions I have to where that guy needs to get killed. And because I think his body count so far is like 1,500. That's a lot. That's too many.
Yeah. Yeah. It very much is too many. Like that is man, that and it's just it's like what you said earlier. It's like the morality of it is unlike comics, when it comes to real life, is just the fact that would you want people to go to trial. So it's kind of like, but 1,500 people, you
Yeah.
know, I don't think it's like that Hitler thing. It's like if you go back in time, I don't know who would be like, no, he did that. He killed Hitler.
Well, I like that alternate that ending in Deadpool 2 that they took out, where he goes back to kill baby Hitler, but then he's got to live with the implication that he killed a baby.
Yeah, he just I can't do it. I love the fact that Fox was like, yeah, keep it in the movie. We're good. They're about to buy us. Keep it, and it'll be their problems. Cool.
De-
Uh,
Deadpool's awesome, but he's like the silliest of
yeah.
anti-heroes. So
And I think that's why he sells so well, though. I think that's why his merchandise sells so well, just because he can be hardcore and evil, but he also can like do it with a smile. It's kind of
yeah,
like McDonald's, we're giving you horrible food, but here's a toy.
someone needs to set him up with Harley Quinn, get her out of that abusive relationship.
Man. Do you have any female anti-heroes that you enjoy?
You know what? I was actually watching a video on it earlier, and I'm gonna say the bride from Kill Bill,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, that's
she's
perfect.
she's an assassin first and foremost, who was left for dead by the very group of assassins she was part of. So how do I describe the bride? Because she's such a damn good character. Uh, so yeah, she goes after revenge for the death of more or less her daughter, um, by the very people she used to work alongside with. That's a very morally dark world to be in, is criminal assassination. But yeah, and her motivation is justified, but when you really think about it, with the crime she's most likely committed, when will she get hers? Which is why that first scene in the movie, I think they kind of set that question up when he kills Bernetta Green. Who played her? Vivica A. Fox. When she killed Vivica A. Fox, and then like her daughter sees her own mother being killed, and she tells her, "If you come for revenge, I will completely understand," and then like leaves. So
Yeah.
yeah, so in her getting revenge, she has just made a child motherless.
Yeah, it just shows how the cycle can continue.
Hmm.
What was your favorite Kill Bill, by the way?
I always put it like this: Part one had the most action. I love that anime sequence where they did Oran Ishii's origin. But for like dialogue, but for like just pacing and dialogue, I liked Volume 2 a lot more.
Me too. Me too.
Especially that last shot when right after she's killed Bill. Spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie Kill Bill, she does kill Bill. And and she's in the bathroom. She's in the bathroom of this hotel room with her daughter. Not well, her daughter's in the room watching cartoons. She's in the bathroom and she is crying her eyes out. But in Uma Thurman, I see this sense of both grief and relief. And I thought that was just a great display of emotion in film.
Yeah, it was. She nailed it. Like no other way to put it. She nailed that scene. Um, One side note, man, I'm excited. I don't know if you know about this, but Quentin Tarantino's about to become an Arthur, man.
And oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I wonder
man.
what kind of stuff he's gonna write.
I wonder how many times he's gonna say the N word, but like, it's yeah, but no, I'm excited too, man. Like I said, he's like one of my, if not like one of my favorite actors and writers. Like the guy can, he makes a simple conversation about a cheeseburger sound amazing. So,
Yeah,
um,
a Royale with cheese.
yes, yes.
Yeah, he's my third favorite director of all time.
Who's your first?
Kubrick.
Okay.
Stanley, yeah, just his cinematography work is just fantastic. And on top of that, you can't really get away with this now, but he would abuse the fuck out of actors
Yeah.
in order to get what he needed out of his scene. Like, I don't give a fuck, be scared.
He would go. He was very Bing Crosby-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shelley Duvall, I think, quit acting because of her work on The Shining, because he was just horrible to her.
Yeah.
And another anti-hero movie, A Clockwork Orange, Malcolm McDowell was deathly afraid of snakes. So
Yeah.
he made Alex have a pet snake in that movie just to torment him. And that scene where after he takes the vitiligo technique, and it's like, make it stop, make it stop. He when they show how docile he is, he actually did get the shit kicked out of him. Like he broke 3 ribs in that scene. So I guess if you want good acting, you just beat the shit out of your actors, but I'm not totally for that.
Yeah. When you said his name, I was just like, as long as he knows the background, like.
Oh, I know his background, but he gets some damn good film work out of it.
He's made a lot of enemies. I know that he is.
Well, he's also from a different time. You gotta understand that too. I know that's a cop out defense, but shit is what it is. My dad would tell me about grown adults that weren't his parents just smacking him whenever he was misbehaving. So,
Yeah.
could you get away with that now?
No. I have a stepson.
Hell,
Trust me, I got a
hell
stepson.
no, you can't.
There's no getting away with nothing, man. My stepson's acting up at Bilo, and I just pinched him. And when I say like six adults looked at me, and only I could tell like 3 of them had kids with them, and they were just like, but the other 3, the ones without kids, they were just like, I was like, look, I pray that y'all have to do the same thing. Yeah, don't be looking at me all judging. You have one of these in your house.
Yeah.
Um, so, what is the big difference, in your opinion, of the anti-hero and the villain?
Well, the anti-hero is the one we follow all the way through. The villain is a main character, and we do see their side of the story, but they're not the main focus. You know what I mean? They are an antagonist, whereas the hero is the protagonist, whereas the anti-hero is the protagonist of a movie. Doesn't really have an antagonist other than like their own motivation, I guess.
Okay. Because I've seen a lot of movies now recently, a few back in the day, but I've seen a lot of movies now where like I totally agree with the bad guy, but he just took it one step too far, and now he's the villain.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think the anti-hero's main antagonist is society itself, because society doesn't agree with what they're doing, morally speaking.
yeah, true, very true. Um,
Um,
do you
but
enjoy anti-hero more than you enjoy hero?
I like a balance of both, honestly. I think anti-heroes are there to remind us that people like that do exist in society.
Okay.
Like, what's the best example? I might go with Defense from the movie Falling Down. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen that?
Mhm.
Okay, so Michael Douglas is just someone who's just fed up with his life. Just regular office 9 to 5 worker. Gets out of his car and just basically causes a rampage throughout the city of Los Angeles. But who's the real question is, do we blame him for how he acted, or do we blame society for the mistreatment of people like him? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Just
That's a
a
very
guy who got
that's,
pushed around one too many times.
yeah. That's a great question. Like I said, I keep going back to I hate to quote the Joker, but like I keep going back to like I've seen it. I was a CEO for a little while. And you'd be surprised. You really talk to some of these people that are locked up, and it's just like it really is just one bad day. Like very nice, very sociable, just gym at work or married, whatever, and just majority of them, a great majority, were just one bad day, just sudden happened, and they just lost it. And I'm not comparing them to anti-heroes, but like, because you can't trust their stories, but majority of them were just like one bad day. You know?
Yeah. Well, did you ever see this movie called Bernie with Jack Black?
Yeah,
Yeah, that I think that's the best example of that, because he was a really kind and caring person, very nice guy. Treated everyone very respectfully around town. Then he just got hooked up with the wrong person, someone who's just cruel and abusive towards him. Until finally one day he snapped, didn't even realize he was doing it, and murdered that person.
yeah. It's a sad situation, man. Mental health is very important. Very very important. Um, how do you think the anti-hero has influenced society? Do you think people look at that and be like, "That's what they want to be," or do you think a lot of people rationalize, "All right, this is just fiction"?
I think people look at it two ways. One, as a way they wish they could be more like, because again, the anti-hero character arc has really gained a lot of popularity in our society with like especially TV shows like The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Dexter, uh, shit, Jack Bauer from 24. You got Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. Everyone is just drawn to characters like that because they have a real sense of freedom
Yeah,
and control. They like I think people like the idea of having some control over their lives instead of accepting it as the chaotic universe that it actually is. Because shit happens. That's just what it is.
yeah,
But
true.
I think we have to make sure we don't identify. And another thing is, I think it's because these protagonists are so flawed that we can kind of see the flaws in ourselves and be okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything you just said. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
People do suffer from not being in control. You know, and then
Yeah.
people get in control and realize, oh man, maybe I don't want to be in control.
Yeah. Well, it's like that joke I have where like a friend of mine says, "Don't worry, Ben, God is just testing you." And I just yell out, "Why is it always a pop quiz with this guy?"
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Good. No problem. That's good. And why is it always? Yeah. Uh, um, to get into why anti-heroes are a thing, do you think people just got bored with heroes and villains that's how that became a thing, or do you think it was just by accident?
I think my thing is I think people were kind of getting disillusioned from the idea of just straight up good and straight up evil. You kind of want like a middle character to show like, hey, this guy has good intentions, even though even if he does some bad things along the way to get to those good intentions.
Nice, nice, nice. It's kind of the Robin Hood effect I guess, of things where it's like he's stealing from rich people that may not even be bad, but it's just like these rich people definitely don't care about these poor people. So he goes out there and makes sure everybody's okay.
Well, and to take it a step further, a modern update of the Robin Hood character was Omar Little from The Wire. You know, he stole from drug dealers and gave it back to the community. And even President Barack Obama has stated that Omar is his favorite fictional character. So I think that's an interesting statement from the leader of our country. You know what I mean?
It sounds better than grabbing by the pussy. I can
Very true.
and we stack those up together. Oh,
What a dick. You can edit that out of it. Makes you feel comfortable.
no, it's okay, man. It's not you saying it. It's somebody else that said it.
I know. I'm quoting someone who's.
I love the fact that like if somebody had to like, I think most of their speeches don't they have to type them up while they're talking on there to type up their speeches. I would hate for the person like, how do I spell that? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, man, I'm already busy. I gotta edit.
yeah,
I gotta make a second draft.
yeah. It's been fun. What you drinking over there?
I'm drinking a Angry Orchard apple cider.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah, hazy and less sweet, unfiltered.
nice. You ever had one of those with a Guinness? It's called
No,
it's called a steak bite. So you put the Guinness on the bottom, and then you pour the cider on top. It's a good blend, man. It's a good taste.
well, St. Patty Day is coming up.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't drink anymore, but words of advice: if you got the money, go to Savannah for St. Patrick Day. It's amazing, man.
Okay.
In Columbia, we have 5 points. It's wild, but it's fun. Like only go to those places if you're single. If you're in a relationship, I advise not to.
Well, I'm going to be spending this St. Patty's Day at Crown Station in Noda, where we have the Trainwreck Open Mic hosted by Brian O'Neill. I'm going to throw a little ad for him.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a new spot, right? It's not the same spot. Like a
No, it's been around for a minute. That mic's been around for a minute.
is it? Does the bar is the bar like on the left, and then like everything else is on the right?
What do you mean?
Like Crown Station. I remember. I think I've been there before. It's like the bars when you walk in, it's on the left, and the stage and everything is like it's like a. I guess you would say similar to the way a trailer is made. So the bar is all the way on the left side of the wall, and then everything else is open.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
there's the stage by the back door. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I haven't been there in like 5 years. I think 5 4 years. He didn't always have that mic. It was somebody else, right?
Um, the original mic runner was my friend Mimi Benfield, who is she lives in New York City now. It was originally called the non-consensual mic, but Brian and at the time Alex Spears had to change it because two straight guys hosting a mic called non-consensual looks kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm glad they came together and was like, this is not right. Okay.
Well, and one thing that happens is the place is right next to some train tracks, and that train comes by and is very loud, and they keep the doors open, and so we hear it while during people's sets.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like imagine you have a 5 minute set and you get into the punchline and nobody can hear you.
Like that's going on.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
promise this joke is funny, but
my
okay.
favorite thing to do when the train goes by, if I'm like outside and it's like honking and it's just drowning out all the conversation, I'll just start like mouthing words, and then I'll just say something super fucked up at the end. And that's why, in theory, communism could work. They're like, wait, whoa, what did I miss?
Who friend is this? Who brought this guy? Uh, cool. But the last question I have about anti-heroes, to wrap everything up, um, what do you think the future of it is? Do you think we go to like anti-villains? Not anti-villains, but like what's the right word? Do you think we can ever flip the coin where well, I guess there's no flip of the coin. I don't know where I was going with this question. I apologize. It's either anti.
Well, we're already kind of doing that with how many, especially with like the MCU, with how many people are going like, oh, Thanos was right, and like Killmonger was right, and like we're like people sided more with Killmonger and Black Panther than they did the actual hero of the movie, and it was like the same with Infinity War and Endgame with Thanos. You know, I would say the best example of this would be um, Darth Vader from Star Wars, because in the original trilogy he's just a straight up villain, and then the prequels come about and we see how he became a villain.
Uh, People like to do that with Darth Vader, man, but he killed kids. Like,
I know. Oh
like
no, he's awful. He's a
yeah.
fucking warlord.
It was like if he had just cut that scene out the movie, I could totally slide. But in the third movie where he just like shroom, and the kids are just looking at him, it's just like, wow, okay.
I would give the counter argument that that was necessary to show just how far he was willing to go to accomplish what he needed.
Oh yeah, that's why he's not an anti-hero. Like I don't care how far they try to fix it in the future, like that. That's evil. Like
Well, he also committed genocide on Tatooine on episode 2 by killing off that whole village of sand people.
yeah, he
Say
was like,
what
you
you
kill
want.
him.
Yeah, he killed a whole village.
Yeah, he was like, you're gonna kill my mom. This is a
Yeah. Revenge, motherfucker.
yeah. Oh man. Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on, man. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
I don't really have fans. I just have people who like me a lot. and but I just want to say thank you guys for supporting, and I'm glad you guys check out my comedy. It's always a fun time, at least for me. I don't know how y'all feel about some of my views, but
Cool, cool.
yeah, just support as many people as you can in local comedy, because we really need it. We appreciate the love.
Cool, cool. Where can they follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Facebook at Ben Stacy. There's like 3 profiles because I got locked out of 2 of them. It's the one where I'm standing on stage with a blue checkered shirt. And then also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the real Ben Stacy. That's STACY, because a lot of people spell it with an E.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you again for coming on. Thank you guys for listening, and have an amazing day.